The games happened on March 16th. We had a lot of games. Let's get into them. The first game is the Atlanta Hawks losing to Charlotte Hornets 106-116. John Collins continues to be out. Gallinari only came in and played 14 minutes. I think he also had an injury himself. So with the two power forwards gone, you do expect, like last game, they gave D'Lo Wright 30 minutes, and this game, only 14 minutes. But they're going to give them more minutes to, those wing guys like DeAndre Hunter and Kevin Huerter. So these two guys could be rostered. Even when John Collins is playing, you could stream these two guys, mainly just for points and threes. They don't really provide anything else. Huerter provided 7 rebounds and two steals. Both hit 4 threes, so that's pretty good. Bogdanovic has been struggling quite a bit in the last couple of games. Here, played 32 minutes. The minutes is fine, and I do think he's going to be better than this, so let's just hold on to him and ride it out. They still have 2 more games left this week. And if you need the guard stats, he does provide all the guard stats. Trae Young struggled, but had 15 assists and 3 steals, so those are pretty good, but only had 9 points. And Clint Capella and Okongwu, they are exclusively splitting the center minutes, and good to see Clint Capella getting 31 minutes. Huge game, 15 rebounds and 17 points. Well, also Charlotte Hornets defense or interior, they don't really, other than Mason Plumlee, who played just 22 minutes, they don't really have a true big man. Okongwu also played well. That's kind of expected, 7 for 8 with 2 blocks against the bad Charlotte Hornets defense. But they're not able to get the win at Charlotte, and they've been winning a bunch of games. The Hornets, they're in that playing range. Don't think they can make a push, and the East is just super competitive. They're the 9th seed. Best case scenario, they are the 8th seed. They're right behind the Brooklyn Nets, but I don't think they're gonna catch the Raptors, who also won yesterday. The Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges, 18 points, 2 blocks, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 threes. All those pretty good. In PJ Washington, I think this is the guy we want to roster. And let's see. Well, they do. The only thing is they don't have a good schedule. Yeah, they really don't. They only have 1 more game left this week. And if you're in a playoff matchup, he's somebody you could consider dropping. Same thing with Mason Plumlee. Although, pretty much when he plays, he put up pretty good counting numbers. 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. With 5 for 7 from the field and 12 points. But had 4 personal fouls in 22 minutes. Terry Rozier, really not much to talk about, pretty consistent. And LaMelo Ball, 11 assists, 8 rebounds with 5 threes. Pretty good game from LaMelo Ball as well. And they really need him to play well to make that push to maybe push for the 8th seed, compete with the Nets, because the Nets, they still don't have Kyrie Irving at home. Let's go to the next game. The Philadelphia Sixers beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Joel Embiid was questionable coming in. Ends up playing 34 minutes, so no worries. 35 points and 17 rebounds. Yep, went to the free throw line 10 times, while Harden went to the free throw line 12 times. Took just 12 field goals. Also a decent game from Harden. I expected Harden to, score more points, maybe fewer assists, compared to what he was doing at the Nets. But looks like, we're a couple games in, he's putting up very identical numbers. A lot of assists. He's not going to score. He's not going to average 25 points a game. More like 22, 23. Still just being that facilitator. But he does go to the line a lot more now. The past couple games alongside Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey, 25 points. That's really good. 3 threes. But at the end of the day, he's really just going to give you points and threes with good efficiency. Because he's not going to get those assists when Harden is around, and he doesn't get that many defensive stats. Tobias Harris also had a very mediocre, an okay game, 19 points and 3 threes. But, with Harden and Joel Embiid around, you just won't see him going off for 30 points all that often. Matisse Thybulle had just 1 block. He had 6 steals last game around, so, we still got to hold on to him if we need those defensive stats. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Isaac Okoro, another decent game. They have a back-to-back Friday and Saturday. I'll be looking to string Isaac Okoro. The Friday and Saturday back-to-back, because he's been playing really well, and the minutes is there too. Evan Mobley had an okay game. Took just 7 shots, 13 points, 9 rebounds, and Lauren Markkanen could be rostered, although he didn't really do much. It was, I think the interior is gonna struggle a little bit against Joel Embiid. Well, Mobley had 5 fouls because Embiid, you can't. It's hard. It's really hard for you to stop him, and then he draw those fouls. You're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Karis LeVert, his second game back, coming off the bench, 25 minutes. The minutes is not 30 minutes yet. Eventually he will, 15 and 7. I think if he's out on the waiver wire, you need some counting stats. I don't mind it, but the efficiency is going to be rough. And Darius Garland, another bad shooting night from the field. But again, 11 for 12 from the free throw line is huge. 7 assists, 22 points. Overall, not a bad game. Let's go to the next game. The Denver Nuggets beat the Washington Wizards. They were only favored by 6 points, the Denver Nuggets. And they just beat... Well, I think they lost to the Raptors the other night, yeah. But they covered easily, and Jokic, when you play the Washington Wizards, you know what you're gonna get from your superstar players. It's just too easy. 29 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals and a block, and hit all the free throws. That's great. Will Barton struggled, 1 for 6. Consider playing the Wizards. It's a little bit. That sucks a little bit. They do have 4 games. They have 2 more games left. So just write it out with Will Barton. Monty Morris had a decent game. But again, none of these guys have, Bones Highland, because it was a blowout, he was able to get a few extra minutes. But otherwise, he may not get 25 minutes. Jermichael Green, he's been playing very well. But I think other than Will Barton and Monty Morris and Aaron Gordon, of course, all the other guys, be ready to drop them after they finish their game on Sunday. Let's look at the Wizards. KCP, nobody played really high minutes. So KCP, 12 points, 2 steals. If you need free throws, 3 points, you could have him. And he's been providing some defensive stats, some steals as well all season. Kyle Kuzma, 7 assists really stands out. 9 rebounds and 6 points. I think if Porzingis is playing, his usage does dip a lot. Kyle Kuzma, and also the playing time is low. Kristaps Porzingis had 3 blocks, really good stuff, 6 for 9. From the free throw is not, and just interesting to see he's playing, but not playing high minutes. I think even if it wasn't for a blowout, he's gonna get 27, 28 minutes. That's obviously not great, and they have a back-to-back coming up. Porzingis is gonna miss one of those games, but whenever he plays, like 3 blocks is still no joke. Corey Kispert has been starting and getting huge minutes, but he's just a 3-point streamer. That's it. Danny Advia has some fantasy upside, but it's not consistent. The minutes is not consistent. And Daniel Gafford only gets 14 minutes now. But they do have a back-to-back. If you need some big man stats, you could potentially look at Daniel Gafford to stream on the weekend. Friday, Saturday, back-to-back. The next game is a little bit wild. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Brooklyn Nets, and Spencer Dinwiddie hit a game winner. So Spencer Dinwiddie sometimes comes off the bench, sometimes he starts. Had a decent game, 22 points, 3 steals, and 2 threes. Playing a lot better compared to when he was on the Wizards. A lot more better. Dorian Finney-Smith, 9 points, 6 rebounds, nothing else. If you need steals, threes, and rebounds, he's a nice guy to have. Dwight Powell, not too interested in him. Other than a field goal, a little bit, he offers nothing else really. Jalen Brunson, 18 points. The big problem with Jalen Brunson is the lack of defensive stats, and if Luka is playing, he doesn't get that many assists. So just a little bit boosting points and threes, and a little bit boosting assist. If you need those 3, sure, you're not gonna find another guy. Like he's kind of like Kobe White type of player. Well, he's better than Kobe White. But you need some big man stats. You should probably look elsewhere. The Mavericks, they have a back-to-back Friday and Saturday. So some of these guys like Maxi Kleber, you could look to potentially stream. For that back-to-back or Dorian Finney-Smith. Luka, big triple-double. Well, not a triple-double, but 37 points, 5 threes. Pretty big game. Great efficiency and 2 steals and a block. Great game for Luka. And after some early season struggles, he's got a lot better. KD, Dallas is a good defensive team, but that shouldn't stop KD from shooting only just 40%. He had 10 assists, so he's dishing out to his teammates. Overall, one of the worst games KD could have. 23 points. But not bad. Bruce Brown, 17. Yeah, Bruce Brown is a must roster. They're back to back. They just finished their back to back. Friday they have another game, but Bruce Brown, if you Well, the thing is, like, if you're trying to win this week, Bruce Brown is somebody you could drop after Friday, because you get 2 more games out of somebody if you get a close matchup. But he's been playing very well amongst roster. Andre Drummond and Claxton, they are splitting the center minutes because LaMarcus Aldridge is nowhere to be seen, and both guys could be streamed. It will be a good stream Tuesday and Wednesday. Now maybe it's too late. But Drummond, if you pound in threes and free throws, you could have him. 17 rebounds is huge in just 21 minutes and 4 fouls. Goran Dragic, whenever Kyrie doesn't play, if they're at home, you could stream Goran Dragic, and Seth Curry continues to be out. You could stream Patty Mills for threes, but there are probably better options out there on the waiver wire at this point of the season. Let's go to the next game. The Portland Trailblazers lost to the New York Knicks by 30 points. Okay, but if you look at the roster, yeah, that makes sense. Justice Winslow came back, played just 18 minutes. If you need defensive stats, some rebounds, some assists, I don't mind having Justice Winslow. The percentages could be rough. They have 2 more games this week, and they have a back-to-back. But is Winslow going to miss one of these games? That's a real possibility, given the injuries. Brandon Williams, we could look at him. I think there's a good chance Fernie Simons just doesn't play again, and Brandon Williams could come in and get 30 minutes a night and put up something, right? Oh wow, would you look at that? They actually played Chris Dunn 27 minutes, our old friend Chris Dunn. He's a really good assist and steals guy. Really, really good steals guy. If you watch him play, very, very aggressive on the defensive end. If he gets 30 minutes, he could get 1.5 steals easy. So we'll see if he can continue to get 27. I think big reason he gets this many minutes because it was a blowout. But I'll be monitoring Chris Dunn. Drew Eubanks could be rostered. Trenton Wefford, also these 2 big men. Nurkic, is he coming back? I don't think so. You could roster them. Both are putting up pretty good numbers in the last week or so. In Drew Eubanks' case, he just needs to get more defensive stats. If he can get a few blocks like that would be pretty solid. And Josh Hart couldn't score over 30 points again, but 17 points, 2 threes is okay. And for the New York Knicks, they won by 30 points, and Tom Thibodeau is gonna play RJ 40 minutes, and finally has a great game. 31 points, 2 steals and a block, 5 threes against a bad Portland team. That's kind of expected. Julius Randle played 34, even though the game was a 30-point blowout. Got their numbers. I guess that's what it matters. Mitchell Robinson had 5 blocks. Yes, nothing is surprising if you put up numbers against this team. Alec Burks and Evan Fournier, these 2 guys could be rostered. And Emmanuel Quickly, if you're looking for some guard stats, another guy you could stream. 18 points and 6 assists with 3 threes is not bad, but he's not going to shoot the ball this well against any other team. It's just the Portland really, really bad. The next game, the Suns, another easy win for them, 129-112 over the Rockets. And this game, Jay Crowder did not play, and Torrey Craig went off. Yeah, this Phoenix, if Jay Crowder continues to miss games, I would stream Torrey Craig, given what we've seen here. And Cam Johnson is also out. So I don't know, for whatever reason, Ayton sometimes just doesn't grab a lot of rebounds, so the power forward is going to grab 14 rebounds. Rockets also do miss a lot of shots, so they also have that going for him for Torrey Craig. They have 2 more games left this week, so if Jay Crowder is going to miss those games, Torrey Craig could be a good stream. Mikal Bridges picked up the scoring, 26 points, 3 steals, 5 assists, really good stuff. He took 17 shots too, 3 threes, really good. DeAndre Ayton, another great game, 23 points and 11, but just 1 block. That's the problem with him. Rebound and field goal, very, very solid, but blocks is what's gonna push up your value in category leagues. And if Ayton is gonna block under 1 shot a game, that's not gonna push him into that top 40, right? Not even top 50. Devin Booker is too easy, man. 4 assists, 36 points, 5 threes, and Cameron Payne, 11 assists. Yes, sometimes he's not gonna score a lot, but we should be very, very happy with his 11 assists. And I think without Chris Paul, average 7-8 assists is pretty easy for him. And we look at the Rockets. Garrison Matthews started in place of Eric Gordon. But what happened with him? He played just 40 minutes. They gave a lot of these minutes to Josh Christopher, I suppose, who only got 18. But just weird. But usually he's a guy to to stream threes, and lately he's been getting a lot of steals as well. So if Eric Gordon is out, continues to be out, Garrison Matthews we could stream, but weirdly he only played 14 minutes. Jason Tate, I'm not too in love with him. I think we could move on from him if Rockets don't have a good schedule coming up, which they don't. They have 2 more games. Well, they have a game on Friday and then another back-to-back Sunday and Monday. So I guess there's some value in some of the Rockets guys. Kevin Porter Jr. filled it up. 5 threes, 21 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 8 assists. Yeah, that's what he could do sometimes. But more often than not, he puts up a just really, really poor efficient night. Jalen Green continues to play well, 4 threes, 22 points. But the difference is he needs to get more defensive. He needs to do more in the other areas. Like the points and threes is there, we get it. He needs to do more to be better in fantasy. Christian Wood for us, obviously. Christian Wood, 18 and 9. Not an average game, and 6 for 9 from the free throw line. And Şengün is able to play 26 minutes, had 3 steals, had 3 personal fouls. They have a back-to-back Sunday and Monday. If you need some big man stats and some steals, some assists coming from your center, Şengün can give you all that, but the efficiency is a very big concern with Şengün. Let's go to the next game. The LA Lakers lost to the Timberwolves by 20 points. Yes. Don't think that's surprising. The Lakers have lost, I don't know, countless games. They're 10 and 8. Wow. Like the worst in the Western Conference, 10 and 8, yeah. Pelicans, they're catching up, and they're currently 2.5 games ahead of Spurs. I thought they at least have the 10th seed locked in. But they need to win some games. If they go another 2 and 8, who knows if the Spurs go 5 and 5, they're gonna catch them. So yeah, they need to. And LeBron is playing high minutes, high usage every single game. 37 minutes, 19 points, 1 3, 1 steal. I mean, LeBron's numbers is fine, fantasy wise. Austin Reeves continue to start. He's not really a good fantasy option. Dwight Howard not really interested. The minutes is not there. But Malik Monk. Well, they're back-to-back coming up is Saturday and Friday. So Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, Taylor Horton Tucker left the game, but Monk and Anthony, let's stream them for the back-to-back if you need some points and threes and some defensive stats, especially with Monk, who's been getting a lot. 2 steals, 6 assists. 6 assists is really nice, the most on the team actually. 2 threes, so really good game. And Russell Westbrook, we could consider dropping him, like I said. Very mediocre game here, but 2 steals is okay. Carmelo Anthony had 16 points and 1 3. But this Lakers squad, they couldn't. And their schedule is, to be fair to them, they did play some tough teams, at least the playoff teams, lately. So, they're just going to lose. They played the Suns, I think. They played the Raptors. Now they played the Timberwolves, who's also a playoff team this year. For the Timberwolves, of course, Cat is going to eat. 60 points last time around, 30 points in just 26 minutes, 13 for 13. That's easy work. Jared Vanderbilt came back from his injury. Played good. If he's out on the waiver wire, I would grab him for rebounds, steals, some blocks, and field goal. But he's not going to score. He's not going to hit threes, right? Very little assists. But rebound and steals is pretty good. Anthony Edwards, 8 for 21, continues to struggle even versus the Lakers, but fielded up this game. So good to see him finally had one good game. And Patrick Beverley, 1 steal and 3 blocks. Yep, against the Lakers, you're gonna get that. And D'Lo absolutely struggled. He should be fine though. I would not worry too much about him. Continue to roster him. Let's go to the next game. The Oklahoma City Thunder beat the San Antonio. Well, sorry, I take that back. They lost to the San Antonio Spurs by 2 points. But Shea in the third quarter went 9 for 9, absolutely going off. 5 for 8 from the free throw line is not great. But man, Shea has been unbelievable since the All-Star break without Josh Giddey. The man just put up. The man's averaging over 30 points. He probably averaged the most points coming out of the All-Star break. One of the most assist guys as well, and adds in 3 steals and a block. He had an ankle issue coming in. So let's say they got 10 more games. Let's just hope that he continues to play. You know, we have like 10 games left, 10, 12 games. Trey Mann needs to be rostered because he's gonna have an opportunity, and who knows if Shea missed time. They only got him in. When is Josh Giddey gonna be back? You know, last week they said, 2 weeks. So we'll see. Couple weeks actually. Isaiah Roby started, had 4 personal fouls. If it wasn't for the 4 fouls, he would play maybe 25 minutes and put up a better line than this. But yeah, like we could stream, Darius Bazley, Isaiah Roby, Pokusevski, these guys, but they're gonna play 25 minutes tonight, I think. But the production is gonna be a little bit inconsistent. Well, in Darius Bazley's case, it's been more good than bad. Another great game, 25 points with 4 threes, and 9 rebounds. So he's kind of clicking offensively, but he hasn't been focusing on the defense. Only 1 steal, and really hasn't been blocking a lot of shots lately either. But we want to have him, and Pokusevski 5 for 7 from the field is great for him. And he's another guy that can provide so many different categories. Now we go to the Spurs. Devin Vassell. He's a must roster, yes, but sometimes he's gonna give you this really, really rough. And Josh Richardson has been starting getting 30 minutes. Yeah, Josh Richardson is not exactly young, but they're giving the minutes to him. We could definitely stream him for some points, threes, and defensive stats. Josh Richardson could provide all those, and they have 2 more games left. So somebody we could potentially be on our radar to stream on the weekend. Jacob Poeltl, 15, huge game from Poeltl. Keldon Johnson, great, and Devontae Murray continues to just be an absolute beast. 12 assists and 4 steals with 4 threes as well. So on the Spurs team, Devin Vassell, Josh Richardson, we got to look at these 2 guys and pick them up because they just been getting huge minutes. Let's go to the next game. The Chicago Bulls lost to Utah 110-125. Yeah, the Bulls not late season. They're falling off. They're 3-7. I know Zach LaVine has been hurt. He was in and out of the lineup. But yeah, they've fallen all the way to the 5th, which is not a bad thing because the Nets could be the 7th. You don't want to be the second seed. 4th seed is okay. You end up playing the Celtics maybe or the Sixers. They both teams are tough to play. But the Bulls could still make a push to be that 2nd or 3rd seed even. They're like within 2 games of each other. Javonte Graham, the minutes is really not there. DeMar DeRozan had a decent night, 25 points, 7 assists, but lately he hasn't been popping off like he was, before. Vucevic had a double-double and still not the best game and missed all the threes. Zach LaVine shot the ball really well, but it wasn't enough against the Jazz at Utah. Ayo Dosunmu still getting huge minutes. 6 assists is good, so we're just going to write it out. We don't know when Lonzo Ball is coming back. And the thing with Lonzo is just he gets hurt every single season, man. He gets hurt, and, this time around, he's been out for how long? And it doesn't look like he's close. So I would honestly just drop Lonzo. Because if you're in the playoffs, you're trying to win. Well, obviously, if you have an IR, put him in there. But if you don't have an IR, I don't know what you're doing with him. Alex Caruso, 25 minutes, pretty rough, but had a steal and a block and 4 personal fouls. I think I still want to have Caruso because he just gets so many steals. And if they play the Rockets, for example, if they have Rockets on their schedule, he's going to go off for 5 steals. You can book it. For the Jazz, well, it's Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson. 37 points for Donovan. He was really struggling with his shooting. Kind of broke out of it. 37 points, 9 threes. It's huge. Jordan Clarkson also. If you stream Jordan Clarkson beginning of the week, the Jazz already played. How many games did they play? They played 2 games. Sorry, yeah, they have 2 more games, and Clarkson could give you that boost. So far, really, really good value. Mike Conley, another great game. 3 threes, 7 assists, 14 points, a steal and a block. He's been putting up great numbers. And would you look at that? Juancho Hernan Gomez got the start. They've been starting Daniel House. That hasn't been working out, so they started him with Bogdanovic out. But yeah, don't really trust him. And Royce O'Neal, you could stream him on the weekend. And Hassan Whiteside, You'd probably stream him for blocks and rebounds. He give you 1 block. That's a little bit disappointing. And Rudy, huge game, 20 rebounds and still in 4 blocks. That's kind of expected. The Bulls defense, especially Vucevic's defense, is very, very suspect. All right, let's go to the next game. Yeah, this game is a bummer. The Celtics went into Golden State, beat them 110-88. But Curry left the game in the second quarter. I think Marcus Smart stepped on his foot. But it's not too serious. But you're always just gonna be careful with Curry, right? And I think he's gonna miss maybe a game or 2. He's gonna be fine. I don't think this is something serious. Could be wrong though. But let's hope it is fine for the NBA's sake. Because Curry got a lot of fans. If he's not playing, Jason Tatum, 26 points, 12 rebounds. Yeah, another great game from Tatum. Al Horford, versus the Warriors, he didn't do anything, to be honest. 5 rebounds and 6 points. Robert Williams, though, had 4 blocks, 9 rebounds. That's great. But versus the Warriors, small lineup, he didn't play the minutes you usually want him to play. Just the 23 minutes. Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart both played okay. Jaylen Brown has not been great, even though he put up 26 points this game. But this season is not great. And Derek White, man, super, super rough. 0 for 8, 0 points. He had 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And it's totally fine if you drop it. And the Celtics don't have a great schedule. But again, if you're trying to win steals, you're trying to win blocks, you're trying to win assists. If you're trying to win those 3 categories, it will be really hard to find a guy on the waiver wire that can provide you those stats that Derek White does. So if you need those in certain situations, you probably want to hold on to Derek White. But for the most part, yeah, let him go. For the Warriors, my God, Jordan Poole. The man is, Clay struggled 1 for 11 from 3, 18 points, but Jordan Poole has been unbelievable. Really, I had him in one of my teams, he was dropped because he was so bad, getting 25 minutes, averaging 5-6 points a night. But in the last 2 weeks, let's just check his ranking. It's got to go up after this game. Not only is he... All right, let's see where Poole is. Oh, he's that's the full season. Sorry. Yeah, on the season, he's a 73rd ranked player, 14th ranked player in the last 2 weeks, averaging 25 points, 4.4 threes, 4.5 assists, 1.4 steals, shooting 58%. Unbelievable. 58. Yeah, I read that right. Not 50, 58, not 48, 58%. So when he's playing that well, obviously, Andrew Wiggins is also out. Once Andrew Wiggins comes back, he's going to lose a few minutes. So there's just so many things going against him. There's no buy low, sell high anymore at this point. So you just hold on to him. But he's been unbelievable. The defensive stats as well. Otto Porter Jr. had 2 steals and a block. Kevon Looney, filled up the stats. 8 rebounds, 4 assists. But Draymond Green is gonna, impact, how much time Kevon Looney plays and how many rebounds, those type of stuff. Draymond is gonna have a kind of a minute restriction, 20 to 30 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. So there's nothing you could do. The Warriors, they're just gonna be careful. 8 rebounds, 2 steals is fine for Draymond. But with him, you're just not gonna get a lot of points out of him. But I'll take the 2 steals. And like I said, Klay Thompson is struggling pretty massively. And Jonathan Kuminga is a guy. Well, he struggled, but if Curry is out, they've been giving him plenty of minutes, and Klay's gonna rest those back to backs. So there's some opportunity there to stream Kuminga and Otto Porter Jr. Let's go to the next game. Wow, so many games yesterday. Okay, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Sacramento Kings 135-126. The Kings, what are they doing? Are they close? Are they catching up? They're not catching up. They're done. They're 4 games out of the 10th spot. Chris Middleton, the big 3, they all put up great numbers. Really not much to talk about. They've been so consistent, right? All 3 guys. Bobby Portis with Brook Lopez back. For now, Lopez is minutes in 15 minutes, so let's hope it keeps that way so that Bobby Portis will still get 30 minutes. we're still gonna hold down to Bobby Portis. 12 points, 1 steal and a block. Not bad steal. But Lopez, if he ramps up to get 30 minutes, I don't think he will though. This season, then we could look at him for blocks and threes. And Grayson Allen, you could stream him for threes. And we look at the Kings. De'Aaron Fox had 9 turnovers versus the Bucks team, but I'm not really worried about his value the rest of the season. He's gonna be a beast. Same thing with Sabonis. These two guys are gonna eat. Harrison Barnes plays just 23 minutes. For whatever reason, Harrison Barnes is a guy that we could really just other than points and threes and a little bit rebound. But those 3 categories, he doesn't provide huge volume. So for sure, is a guy you could drop. I don't think you lose too much. Right? Trey Lyles actually played 33 minutes, had a double-double. But the Kings' rotation, other than De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, it's hard to predict how many minutes guys gonna get. Justin Holiday started, but only played 20 minutes, and when Dante DiVincenzo got majority of the minutes. Dante DiVincenzo, we like him, right? He provided really good steals and threes. So I would take a look at the Kings' schedule and see, hey, maybe we could do something here. Yeah, they have 2 more games on the weekend, so maybe streaming Dante DiVincenzo is a good idea. I like him more than Justin Holiday, although they provide very similar stats. And I like him for sure over Davion Mitchell, who probably gets more minutes, but just doesn't put up the numbers in category leagues. 19 points is nice, but efficiency is usually very, very poor and not a lot of defensive stats, even though he's a lockdown defender. All right, let's talk about the last game of the night. So Toronto Raptors went to the Clippers, beat them 103-110. The Raptors, man, looking good, but they are going to play the Brooklyn Nets based on the way things are. They're going to play Brooklyn Nets in the play-ins. And the Kyrie vaccination thing is going to come up because Kyrie cannot play at Toronto. The law says he cannot play if he doesn't get the vaccine. So let's say they lose that game. They play without Kyrie. Yeah, I think without Kyrie, the Raptors got to be favored in that game. If it's just KD, and also depend on if it's the Simmons situation, because he's not close, and we are a couple weeks away from the plays, right? And then they gotta play one of the Atlanta Hawks or Hornet teams, and they're gonna do it at home, I suppose. And again, they don't have Kyrie Irving, so what the hell? And the Nets, doesn't look like they're gonna make it to the 6th seed, right? They're 3.5 games behind, and they still don't have Kyrie Irving in those road games. So although we've seen what they can do versus that Sixers team, that one game where Kyrie has been on a heater lately, but can we count on both of them to? Well, I trust KD, but Kyrie could be a little bit. He's not gonna have that good of games every single game. I mean, that 60-point was against the Magic. Against Raptors, 100% Kyrie is gonna struggle shooting. This Raptors defense is absolutely insane. The athletes they have, the length they have, scary team to play against for sure. Fred VanVleet has not been himself with the injury. 21 points is fine, but just 3 assists, not himself. Gary Trent Jr. 1 for 9, that wasn't happen, but provided two steals, so that's fine. Nobody played that well other than Siakam on his team. Even Scotty Barnes at 15 points, that's fine, but he's been playing out of his mind lately. Not the best game here either. Siakam 31 points, 12 rebounds, and a steal with 3 threes. Yeah, carrying the load. We have Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa both getting around 25 minutes. Precious Achiuwa is somebody we could maybe look to streaming. They got a good schedule. They actually have 3 games starting Friday, Sunday, and Monday. So we could look at Precious Achiuwa for a stream. He's been getting rebounds, score a little bit, right? Getting some defensive stats. Chris Boucher, if you need rebound blocks only, sure, you could take a look at him. But the playing time is not consistent. But usually he gets you a block or 2. For the LA Clippers, Nicholas Batum again got huge minutes, 32 minutes. Great, a steal and 2 blocks. But they have 1 more game this week on Friday, and they only have 2 more games next week. So that's just a little bit tricky, right? Like even if you have Marcus Morris Sr., I think you could really next week, you could let him go after their first game, or Reggie Jackson maybe, because in the playoff it's about like you gotta do your best to win. And these guys, they're not top 50 players, They're not. They're like 80, 90. And the categories they provide is like you could find replacements on the waiver. For example, Marcus Morris Sr., the best category is threes. So you can find it's not like a Cameron Payne. Maybe he's a top 80 player, but the assist he gave, you can't replace that. You just cannot. Reggie Jackson, the same thing. Well, 9 assists here is really good, but mainly just points and threes and some, mainly just points and threes. I think that's totally fine. You could still find Jordan Clarkson. 1 week Jordan Clarkson with 4 games is better than Reggie Jackson with 3. But if you only play Reggie Jackson, play 2 games, then you can find a lot of guys on the waiver wire that's just gonna perform better than Reggie Jackson in a week, given a week time. Isaiah Hartenstein always gets a few extra minutes when Zubac is in foul trouble. Zubac has been absolutely balling. So I think we gotta hold him till Friday and then make some decisions after that. And that's it for all the games, guys. I'll see you next time.